When my son made the honor roll, the school called, but my ex-wife showed up to claim she was his guardian. I thought it was just a normal Tuesday when Roosevelt Elementary called around 2:30 p.m. The receptionist's voice was cheerful. "Mr. Johnson, congratulations! Tyler made honor roll again. We have his certificate ready for pickup. Can you swing by before we close at 4?" I was absolutely beaming with pride sitting in my cubicle. My 8-year-old had been working incredibly hard since the divorce finalized 6 months ago. Math tutoring every Tuesday with Mrs. Henderson, reading an extra hour before bed, even on weekends when cartoons were calling his name. He'd asked me to quiz him on spelling words while I made dinner. This was his 3rd honor roll in a row, and I knew how much it meant to him. I told my boss I had a family emergency and needed to leave early. 20 minutes later, I pulled into the school parking lot with a huge grin, already planning how we'd celebrate. Maybe Chuck E. Cheese, or that new ice cream place he'd been eyeing, but there it was. Rebecca's silver BMW with the vanity plates parked right in the visitor spot. My stomach immediately dropped to the floor. I sat in my car for a moment, gripping the steering wheel. What was she doing here? It was my week with Tyler. Tuesday was always my day to handle school stuff. We'd agreed on this exact arrangement during mediation. I walked through the familiar blue hallways toward the main office, past Tyler's classroom where I could see kids working quietly at their desks. The secretary, Mrs. Martinez, was someone I'd gotten to know well over the years, but today she looked uncomfortable, almost apologetic. And there was Rebecca, standing at the high counter like she owned the place. She was holding Tyler's certificate in her perfectly manicured hands, wearing that blazer she always wore when she wanted to look important. Her voice carried that authoritative tone she used during PTA meetings. "Oh, there's been a misunderstanding," she said the moment she spotted me walking in. She didn't even turn around fully, just glanced over her shoulder. "I'm Tyler's primary guardian. I should be the one receiving his academic achievements." Mrs. Martinez looked genuinely confused, her eyes darting between us. "Ma'am, our records clearly show those records are outdated," Rebecca interrupted sharply, cutting her off mid-sentence. "I have full custody now. There was a recent change." The audacity hit me like a truck. I knew exactly what this was about. Last weekend, Tyler had mentioned that Mommy's friends were asking why Daddy picked him up from soccer practice. Rebecca had been telling her entire book club that Tyler lived with her full-time, painting me as the absent father who just showed up for fun weekend activities. I pulled out my phone and opened my email, scrolling to the custody agreement that was literally finalized 2 weeks ago. "Actually, that's completely false," I said, my voice steady despite the anger building inside. "Joint custody, 50-50 split, and today is very clearly my day." I handed my phone to Mrs. Martinez, who read the document carefully. Rebecca's confident expression started cracking around the edges. "The pickup schedule is right there," I continued, pointing to the screen. "Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays are mine. Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays are hers. We alternate Mondays." Rebecca's face went completely pale. She realized I had actual proof, not just her word against mine. Mrs. Martinez looked relieved to have clarity. She gently took the certificate from Rebecca's hands and passed it to me with a warm smile. "Congratulations, Mr. Johnson. Tyler's teacher, Ms. Rodriguez, specifically mentioned that he's been talking about showing this to his dad all week. He was so excited during morning circle time." My heart swelled. Tyler had been thinking about sharing this moment with me. Rebecca grabbed her designer purse and stormed toward the exit without saying another word. Her heels clicked aggressively against the linoleum floor. That evening, Tyler carefully hung his certificate on our refrigerator with a small magnet right next to his previous honor roll certificates and a drawing he'd made of us playing catch. "Dad," he said, looking up at me with those bright eyes, "I'm really glad you were the one there today."